I love Jay Sean and Rugov and those guys that are out there. And like I'd done some, the promoter thing, and I did some shows and all of that. And I was excited about it. But we could do more. There's something better and so on. And so I was at a music video shoot, and this guy came through, and he was like, "Oh, we'll see you with these things, and I feel like you could maybe help this guy out that I found, and listen to this." And I heard this song, and it was like sounded like two people. I was like, "Cool." So there's a guy, younger dude, singing in English. He's dope. And then there's an uncle singing in Punjabi, who's also really good. But who are these two guys? I'm more interested in how they met and why they're doing it. And he's like, "No, it's one guy." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, go play it again." He plays it again. He's like, "No, it's one guy." And I was like, "Okay, sure. How old?" And he's like, 19. And I was like, "Where?" And he's like, "Michigan." I was like, "Who?" He's like, "This guy, his name is Mickey Singh." And I was like, "All right, get me in touch. Like, do you know anyone?" He's like, "I know his cousin." And I was like, "Let's talk."
I love how the difference is this young guy and an uncle that's singing in Punjabi.
Yeah, it was. No, so we connected, and there's obviously a lot more detail, and I'm giving like the very skinny version of it. But ultimately, we connected.
Yeah, the
fun version, yeah. And I worked with him through. And look, another thing, and you guys are artists in your own right. So the thing is, it's a human thing. It's an emotional thing. You go through wanting to do it and maybe not wanting to, right? And knowing how exactly you want to do it, and maybe having doubts about that.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any artist that's an exception to that. Everyone goes through that. So I had the pleasure of working with, finding, I don't say that I discovered him, because he discovered his talent and started performing and putting it out. So
but
he discovered him.
You were somebody who helped along the way.
Yeah, so I helped amplify that. Yeah, and so in the beginning, in that early phase, I was managing, and then worked with him through the mixtape that we put out. And it was like we got limited resources and limited time. Like, what do we do? It's like, well, we can't afford the full-on records and all of that. And so like, let's do a mixtape so we can show your skill set on things that people have heard of. And so then it was also deliberate to use songs that our parents are familiar with and reimagine them. So there's enough connectivity for them to recognize the specialness. Even though the younger generation, very few of them recognized the link, right? But if their parents overheard them playing it, they were like, "What is that? Hold on, I that's," you know what I mean? Yeah. Even though it's being sung in a different melody. So we did that. Soon after starting working with Mickey, there was, I think my mom was watching like Pakistani TV, and there was this kid, and he was singing Whistle, like a cover to Flo Rida's Whistle. And it was in Punjabi. I was like, "What is this? Who is this guy?" I was like, "Mom, have you seen this guy before? Like, whatever." And she was like, "No, I don't know anything about it."
I love the build up.
Yeah, so I look him up, and I'm like, "This is crazy. What is this?" And I was like, "Let me just see what his story is. I'm curious. I want to know, right?" And I'm thinking like, "Yo, my artist here, like, we should maybe do a song with him if there's enough synergy." And so I hit him up, and I was like, "Yo, I'd love to connect. Want to know about your story," and so on. And so we connect and start, exchanging like ideas, and he tells me who he is and so forth. And then, serendipity or chance or fate or kismet, whatever you want to call it, I had to go to Pakistan for like some family stuff. And it's soon after we started talking, and I was telling my brother is in films, and I was like, "Yo, like, you should come. This is going to be cool. We get to link with dude," and blah, blah, blah. So this guy right now is like the Bieber of Pakistan today. His name's Asim Azhar. And back then he was 16. And on that same trip, we recorded, and my brother shot the video, the A-Team Urdu remix. If you're on YouTube, you can just look up the A-Team Urdu remix. Wow. And imagine me behind the camera guy trying to make sure we don't fall into ditches, that there's no like shit on the ground, pardon my French.
Yeah, you're guiding him.
Yeah, guiding, but also trying desperately to stay out of the camera, because he starts doing these sweeping like when you look at the video, you'll see he's like spinning around. Yeah. And I can't move that quickly in sand, so I'm like stumbling over myself trying to stay out of the video. And it ended up being like a big moment for early Asim career. And so that's another guy.
And he's huge now.
Yeah, dude, he's magnificently talented.